fantastic. First get introduced to Rey, you think for a second, wow, okay, she's on a ship, she's getting off the ship, this is huge already. She's on a desert planet, I get it, we've seen desert planets before, we've seen snow planets before, but it still had that nostalgia feel to it. It was that moment where you look back and go, oh yeah, my movie knowledge of all the previous stuff is kicking in, this is what I used to see. But I can understand from a viewpoint of new generations that haven't seen the snowy planet, jungle planet, or desert planet. They go, wow, this is a massive sized desert planet. Very interesting to me. But in my take on it, it was really fantastic.
There was lots of comedy in the movie. There was lots of action in the movie. But there was also unanswered questions. We know that this is setting up for a trilogy. And because of this, there's, of course, a ton of questions unanswered. But, there's some that we're still wondering, out of all this time, what was Luke Skywalker doing there? I mean, there's just so many questions so on and so forth. How do you feel about the questions that are left unanswered, or plots that set up for future movies?
It was nice to see a few more questions than like the prequels left, because the prequels didn't leave a whole ton of questions, and then to see this and see how did you get Luke Skywalker's lightsaber, the one that fell all the way down the big Jasmine Cloud City, and it's sitting there in a box. Like, how did you get that? Like, where did that come from? And that was the biggest one I had, but even the relationships between some of the characters, I always kind of wondered, where is Jakku in relation to Tatooine? Are they close to one another?
Yeah.
Are they, would they both be Outer Rim? Are they on different sides of the galaxy? We didn't really get that question, but, that was one of the ones I kind of wanted to know.
I think when we saw the map from BB-8 and R2-D2, I think we really saw the scope of the Star Wars universe. That was huge. I was taken by from it, because I'm like, we've been 6 movies into this, along with dozens of other, things in Star Wars, such as books and so on and so forth, and just shows you this is a huge universe. It's literally a galaxy far, far away.
Unanswered questions were many. And I would say the ending was probably my number one fathom. I guess it's because it's at the end, and that's what, at the forefront of your mind towards the ending of it. But it would probably be when, she's handing him, rather, the lightsaber, and he's just there, looking out into the distance, and then he just turns around and removes his hood. But you see it, and they're just sitting on just a rock in the middle of the ocean. And first of all, how did Luke get there? Where's his ship? That's a very small rock. Secondly, where's his food at? Is he just eating off the Force? Because if that's a real thing, that would be amazing. That would be spectacular. But no. I feel as though those are simplistic questions.
Certainly was not getting delivery pizza there.
He's not getting delivered pizza.
No
Definitely
one could
not.
find him.
No one could find him. I'm confused about this. But I didn't even see food sources even remotely close to him. It was just rocks. That's all it was. So how did he survive? I can understand why he went into hiding and everything else, but to some point of degree, there could have been at least something that's a little bit more towards realism. Did he specifically come to this location when he sensed her Force coming close to him? Did he set this location up so that, I feel the Force coming towards me, I should go to this area?
Could be like I Am Legend, where every day he will be sitting there for so many hours or something like that. Just
right.
on the island.
Also true.
Wasn't that supposed to be the location of the first Jedi Temple or something like that? They mentioned that somewhere in the film.
They said that he was supposed to be escaping.
Or he was looking for that.
Right. He was supposed to be looking for the origin of the Force, where it originally came from. And even so, that does not look like a temple to me.
We know that this is part of a trilogy. So we know we're going to get Star Wars Episode 8 and Star Wars Episode 9. And also we're going to get Rogue Squadron that actually tells how the Death planets were stolen in the first place, back in the original trilogy. But what would you like to see answered? What would you like to see not only questions answered in the future movies, but what would you like to see put in the future movies?
I'd kind of like to see what happened to some of the other characters from the old films. It was nice to see, like, Admiral Akbar was back in some of the Resistance scenes. It's like, what happened to some of the others? I mean, what happened to General Madine? What happened to Mon Mothma? What happened to, some of the other old dudes I'm assuming would be dead by that point. But, I mean, where's Lando? What's Lando doing? I mean, did Boba Fett ever get out of the Sarlacc like he did in the expanded universe? Or did he get stuck there with the reboots?
I would love to see an advancement of the Star Wars universe. You said it creeps you out with the Gragnar. I don't remember their names.
Hmm?
The
Reptars or
Reptars,
something like that.
Something like that. They're the vicious beast that was on the when they found Han Solo.
Oh yeah, the ones that
The
they
big
got out the
swirling balls of
cave.
death.
Right, yeah.
That was
Big
so
swirling.
cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I was like, how did they even get there in the first place? He said, like, you don't want to know.
You don't want to know.
Chewie needs to tell us the story.
Right. Not just them. If that exists in the Star Wars universe, we've seen a vast array of the beauty of Star Wars. And that's really what turned a lot of people on to Star Wars, was the just in depth of like all the characters, the many different species that exist. When they went to, dating way back, when they very first went to the pub and the music was playing and everything else. Yeah, right? And it showed the multitude of different people. They kind of paid a little bit of homage to that when they did it in this one. It was really cool. But again, we see all these different races and species and everything else. I want to see that expanded. I want to see more of that existed. And I also want to hear Luke say something. Please.
What is your voice? Did you lose your voice?
Did you lose your voice? I'm very curious about this.
Force choke you or something?
I don't know what's going on here. But again, I want to see what happened with the rebellion. When not the rebellion per se. I want to see what happened this guy did to, the rest of the trainees that was with
We're
Luke.
talking about during Rey's vision, what was going on in that scene.
Right. Who are the shadowy figures that was with Rey? Not Rey.
Kylo Ren.
Yeah, Kylo Ren. Who?
The Knights of Ren.
The Knights of Ren.
I think that was their
Yeah, Knights of Ren.
Right, but I would like to see
What
those
happened to
characters. What happened to them? I like to see those characters develop. If they're still alive, I would love to see those characters develop. If it isn't just him, because granted, yeah, he was cool with the mask on. He was great with the mask on. You remove the mask,
was intimidating with the mask
and then I
on.
just felt as though you could just blow in his general direction and he would cry.
Mm-hmm.
Just yell at him and he would be saddened. I feel like the good was in him very deeply. Even when it came down to him killing his father, I felt like afterward and after all that was said and done, he was probably gonna go home and cry a very long cry, and then run a bubble bath